Well, we got a chance to wrap up signing day with Kirby Smart yesterday, and obviously coming off the national championship for the Georgia Bulldogs. It's the first time they've done that since 1981's class. And I wanted to ask Kirby if it had made a difference that he could tell yet in terms of recruiting. I mean, has it? I mean, I didn't really expect the 22 class, which is the class that Georgia's just signed, to really be affected by Georgia's national championship win over Alabama. But here's what he had to say when I asked him. He said, I don't know that, but I can tell you, I don't know that I can. I don't know that you can make that tangible." Talking about the impact of the national championship, I don't know that you can see that kind of or feel that. Certainly, the time we spend on the road, there's a lot of congratulation pats on the back, all those things. In terms of recruiting, I think it just gets you in the conversation with maybe more national kids. We're already in the conversation with most national kids and certainly with in-state kids. It may validate some things you work towards, but I don't think it's going to close the deal for these kids. And that is exactly right. I want to make sure, speaking of the national championship, that you pick up DAWGSTRUCTION today. Um, it's going well, thankfully, and we've gotten a lot of orders. I want to make sure that you're one of them. Don't miss out on this commemorative uh, hard cover book with images you just can't see anywhere else. I'm telling you, you're missing. I'm telling you, you're missing out if you do not pick this up. It's got some insights that you can't find anywhere else. One thing that Kirby said that he's right about is that this is about the relationship that you build with players, and not just players, but the people around them, their friends, their family, the coaches at places. That's that's how you recruit. I mean, the winning on the field, you have to do it. I mean, like at some stage you have to do it. Well, Georgia's the most recent team to do it. So obviously, with this coaching, with this head coach, they've shown that they have the ability to win the national championship. But you can tell that college football is not exclusively, and never has exclusively been, about winning the national championship. It sounds bad, but in many ways, that's for fans. I mean, players, coaches, they have careers. And for the players, it's about, a lot of them want to get to the NFL. For the coaches, a lot of them want to go on to higher positions. But the collective unit in that particular year is, of course, trying to win as many championships as it can. The division championship, conference, national championship, whatever you want to call it. John Calipari at Kentucky understood a lot longer ago than other folks that individuals on teams have their own goals. And we're seeing that in football now more than ever. And that's not me judging it, by the way. Um, do does winning the national championship help you in recruiting? Yeah, I think it does in this way. You are on the forefront of everyone's mind. You're consistently being thought about by all the big players on the national stage. With that said, it's hard to argue that before the national championship, Georgia wasn't in that position. I mean, think about it. Think about, JT Daniels, Brock Bowers, uh, Keely Ringo, Darnell Washington, Zamir. I mean, Zamir was a national player for sure. James Cook. These are all national. N'Kobe Dean. These are all national players who picked Georgia. Now that they are from southern areas like Jalen Carter, you know that's natural. But the guys out west, guys like Lewis Steen from Texas, I look at my board all the time. I should show you all that one of these days. It's such a mess over there, though. There's the board, okay? There's the board, and it is not up to date. Some wrestlers up there. Um, it's not like Georgia has been missing out on national players. They have gotten them. Do I think this will make it easier for the Dogs? I do, because I think that it removes some doubt about, can you win? They can't ever win. That's a recruiting line that has been used against Georgia for a long time. They can't get used to anymore. Um, so I don't know that it will make Kirby and them's job easier. I mean, when you think about Dan Lanning is gone, and he will have to start this over by himself. Kirby had to start it by himself. Guys still want to go to places like Oregon. They still want to go to Georgia. You've got to give them the reason why. Not everybody watching this went to college. Not everybody graduated from college, and that's what it is. The vast majority of your time when you're playing a sport in college, you're not playing that sport in college. I mean, you're going to class. You are supposed to be behaving yourself. There's a lot of life that occurs outside of the sport and or sports, as in my case. You're going to want to make sure you're going to a place that's the right fit for you and the people surrounding you are the right fit. My 4 years in undergrad, the coaches didn't change. I was very fortunate on that front, but the professors did, and the people at school did. So part of this is all about finding the right fit for that recruit. NIL has become apparently like the third rail. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion about that on the national scene. Texas A&M and Ole Miss are getting into it, but that can't be that's a piece to the puzzle. It might be a larger um, piece. It is a larger piece now than it was, but that can't be all we're talking about. Um, but that too will help Georgia dramatically because of the state size that we're right on top of Atlanta in the seventh largest media market in the country. But look, that's all great. If you're not doing the job, you're not going to get the money. Okay, and the money doesn't solve your problems. You got to go perform. I mean, Kirby Smart made a lot of money before he won the national championship. I'm kind of wondering today because post signing day is always a strange moment in a football calendar. Uh, you you've had the 6 weeks of transition from the bowl games to signing day, or 5 weeks, whatever you want to call it, depends on the year. And you've got new players coming in, a lot of guys going to the NFL. The Beatles broke up. Everybody's going their own way. It doesn't mean they can't be successful. It doesn't mean that you can't. The band is about to get back together, but the pieces are a lot different. The big thing is, at Georgia, it doesn't look like Kirby is going anywhere. I mean, I can't imagine. I expect soon that an announcement will be made that he will be awarded a new contract, or if he decides to award it, might be the wrong way. He has earned a new contract or an extension on the contract, modify the contract. So Georgia's not going to really change on that front. His children are relatively young. Um, He's got time, and he's clearly passionate about this. So that's not going to change at Georgia. But like at Carolina, at Florida, I mean, in theory, at Alabama, there could be some changes over the next half decade. I don't necessarily see that at Georgia. So you see a lot of stability. That's another thing that Kirby talked about on Wednesday with us was, that they really benefited from stability. I think that hurt Florida. It definitely hurt Clemson. It's not helping Auburn at all. You don't want to be so stable that you're going to Gator Bowls, but you don't want to be so unstable that you're losing that you're losing UCF in a bowl game. I mean, Auburn, Florida, and Georgia all know about that. They've all experienced that in the last 10 years or 11 years from Georgia's case. Florida just went through that. So you want to hit the right note. And getting the national championship helps Georgia. There's no one thing in recruiting. If that was it, then Texas A&M wouldn't have knocked Alabama and Georgia off of the top spot this year. And Texas A&M is going to have to do it. And I have my suspicions, but the best way to go win the national championship is to get the best team. And the best way to get the best team is to consistently recruit year after year. One year doesn't make a program, one player doesn't make a program, getting them in or losing them. And I feel like I mean, that's a fact. It's just what it is. Make sure you're picking up Dogstruction. Rambling today. We'll see you over on the website.